Hey, my name is Jay. I'm one of the expert teachers here at E2 Language. What we're going to do in this little lesson thingamajiggy is look at listening, multiple choice, choose multiple answers, and following this, we're actually going to turn this into a reading multiple choice, choose multiple answers, okay? So what I'm going to do is just throw you straight into this. You're going to listen to the audio. What I want you to do though, which is very important, is while you're listening, I don't want you to focus on these answer options because it is impossible. You cannot listen and read at the same time. What I want you to do is to listen and take notes, okay? Listen very carefully, take notes. That's going to leave you with two things. It's going to leave you with a strong memory, and it's also going to leave you with an artifact or evidence of what you heard. Then you don't have to rely on your memory so much, and plus you'll be focused in on the listening while you're taking notes as well. So please do that. Then we're going to look at this as a reading question. So let's get started and listen to this one here. Away you go.
Transitioning to a management role can be a very difficult thing. There are many incredible executives who yearn for the financial upside and the title that comes with leading a team. That's just a given and not really an issue, but yeah, there are a few things that people struggle with when they make the transition. The first one is micromanaging. I hate micromanagement, but it's a big struggle, especially if you're a great executor and you know how to cross those T's and dot those I's. When you see someone on your team who's not great at executing, it's hard not to micromanage. But here's the truth. Most things don't matter. It's what I tell my managers, and it's a mental shift that many struggle with. The other mistake a lot of people make when they get into a management position is that they think other people work for them. They act like bosses instead of mentors. But the reality is, all the best managers are actually mentors. All great managers have mentorship DNA within them.
Okay, how did you go? Are you 100% certain that you got it right, or is it a little bit unclear, a little bit ambiguous? If it is a little bit unclear, stick with me because let's now turn this into a reading multiple choice, choose multiple answers. So what I've done here is I've put the transcript as the reading text here. So now you're going to do the exact same thing, but instead of listening, you're going to read. Then you're going to focus in on each of these and decide which one and more than one will be correct, okay? So I'm going to give you, let's say 2 minutes to do this. How did you go? It's quite a difference doing the listening and then the exact same thing, but in the reading form. Which one did you find easier? Just pop it into the chat for me or into the comments below. I'm curious. Did you find the listening form of this easier or the reading form of this easier? Okay, let's now go through and find out what the answers are. But just before we do that, I just want to briefly mention how good our PTE mini mock test is. So if you haven't taken the PTE test before and you want to get some writing and speaking feedback, as well as a bit of an indication of what your test score might be, or if you have taken the PTE test before and you have failed but you don't really know why, this mini mock test is for you. You get the exam simulation. You also receive a full report card with grades and comments from our teachers on your speaking and writing, as well as detail level feedback on all of the different tasks, the individual tasks in the PTE test, so you can find out which ones you're having trouble with. I think it'll be quite illuminating. All right, let's now have a look at the answers. Okay, so let's read the question prompt. So according to the speaker, new managers often have a hard time or have difficulties with or struggle with what? Focusing on larger financial issues, allowing employees to self-manage, mentoring younger employees, handling increased money and status, or guiding rather than controlling employees. Okay. So let's read it through. So transitioning to a management role can be a very difficult thing. There are many incredible executives who yearn for the financial upside and the title that comes with leading a team. That's just a given and not really an issue. So that one is out. Handling increased money and status. It's saying that that is not an issue. That's just a given and not really an issue. But yeah, there are a few things that people struggle with when they make the transition. The first one is micromanaging. I hate micromanagement, but it's a big struggle, especially if you're a great executor and you know how to cross those T's and dot those I's. So they struggle with allowing employees to self-manage. That is a correct answer option there. In other words, they struggle to not micromanage, or they have a hard time allowing employees to self-manage, okay? But here's the truth, most things don't matter. It's what I tell my managers. And it's a mental shift that many struggle with. The other mistake or hard time a lot of people make when they get into a management position is that they think other people work for them. They act like bosses instead of mentors. But the reality is, all the best managers are actually mentors. All great managers have mentorship DNA within them. Now, did that say anything about mentoring younger employees? No. So that's a bit of a distractor. It certainly did use the word mentoring, but it didn't specifically point to anything about younger employees. Rather, it was talking about how managers often have a hard time guiding rather than controlling employees. They act like bosses instead of mentors, okay? So the answer there is actually E. And A is just not mentioned at all. So what we're left with, in effect, and please tell me if you got this right, the answer should have been B and E, okay? They are the correct answers. Did you get that? Please pop it into the chat if you did. Please leave a little comment if you will, and also feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel. My name is Jay. I hope that was helpful.